Hospital authority to extend free use of public hospital mortuaries from 3 to 28 days amid public concern. And U.S. travel woes mount as government shutdown prompts flight cuts ahead of Thanksgiving. With the 15th National Games officially opening tomorrow and multiple events already underway, Hong Kong's organizers are seeing a last-minute surge in ticket interest as local athletes deliver inspiring performances on home turf.
Speaking on iCable News program Let's Talk, Yan Tak-hun, head of the National Games Coordination Office for Hong Kong, revealed that approximately 35% of the 400,000 tickets for the 8 events hosted in the city have been sold. Ticket sales have been picking up speed over the past week. As the competitions began, Yan said. He specifically pointed to the men's handball team, whose determination and spirited play have won them much applause and support from the audience, attracting more people to watch their games. In this first-ever edition, co-hosted by Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, the city alone will see about 4,000 athletes and technical personnel in action. Behind the vibrant scenes, officials are ensuring event integrity with rigorous safety protocols. Yuan detailed extensive food security measures, explaining that the entire supply chain is monitored from its source to prevent any contamination or introduction of banned substances. Authorities are also tackling public health concerns, actively stepping up mosquito control around venues and accommodations, following recent local cases of mosquito-borne chikungunya fever. Looking ahead, when asked about a potential joint bid to host the Olympics with other Greater Bay Area cities, Yuan said a more mature view would emerge after the Games, following a review by the 3 hosts and the General Administration of Sports of China.
The government backtracked on its controversial mortuary charges at public hospitals, extending the storage fee waiver from the proposed 3 days to 28 days, while emphasizing that the original move was not intended to increase government revenue, but to alleviate mortuary pressure. Evelyn Bai reports.
The hospital authority had originally intended to implement daily charges for storing a body starting January 1st next year, which will have allowed for 3 days of free storage before climbing to a maximum of $550 per day after day 34. However, considering public views and stakeholder feedback, the government made a U-turn on the plan on Saturday, extending the 3-day exemption to 4 weeks. Charges will be $200 per day in week 5 and $550 per day in the 6th week.
95%
Libby Lee, DHA's chief executive, explained that in 95% of death cases, doctors can issue death certificates within 3 days, allowing families to make burial arrangements. However, due to the recent public concern, authorities decided to adjust the plan. Secretary for Health Lo Chong-mao emphasized that introducing the charges is not intended to raise revenue, but to encourage the public and bereaved families to arrange funeral services sooner. In the face of the city's aging population, deaths in public hospitals has increased 28% over the last decade or so, and even doubling mortuary capacity would not be sufficient. So a fee reform is necessary, Lo added. The authority reiterated that they have been listening to the public.
We noticed that the funeral sectors had a lot of comments the last few days, and in response to their comments, we make the appropriate changes, and hopefully these changes could help the public and the funeral sector happy with our new plan.
The HA said the new plan maintains full waivers for eligible applicants. Families facing financial difficulties can seek assistance from the hospital. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Police have dismantled a cross-border fraud syndicate, arresting 4 male and 1 female suspects, including a mainland man and a 16-year-old girl.
During the operation, officers seized cash, mobile phones, and other evidence. Police said the ring's core members were mainlanders using two-way permits, exploiting their short-stay status to commit crimes. The scammers specifically targeted elderly residents, phoning them and pretending to be their children or friends. They would falsely claim to need bail money or compensation for legal offenses to extort cash. The group is linked to 10 cases totaling $2.19 million, with the single largest loss reaching $700,000. All victims were retirees. Authorities added that the syndicate also recruited locals to collect the illicit funds. To prevent theft, syndicate members would confiscate the golfers' identity cards, photograph them, and monitor the entire handover. The proceeds would then be immediately transferred into cryptocurrency accounts.
In response to a record 36-day federal government shutdown that has led to a shortage of air traffic controllers, over 40 major airports in the United States have been ordered to cancel 4% of their flights on Friday to lower safety risks. More flights are expected to be canceled next week. Jeremy Zhu reports.
While major airports have so far avoided widespread chaos and airlines have made special arrangements to minimize the impact, many passengers have been arriving at airports much earlier than usual. One traveler only learned her flight was cancelled while en route to Newark Airport in New Jersey, forcing her to rent a car and drive instead.
People here, they're saying, if I were you, I would not travel over the next 3 days. It's going to get worse. TSA said that to me, and the airline counters said it, like, unofficially.
Tens of thousands of passengers' travel plans have been disrupted. Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport is among the worst hit, with 20% of flights cancelled and delays averaging over 3 hours. The disruption is expected to deepen, with cancellations set to rise to 10% next week. Currently, more than 13,000 air traffic controllers and 50,000 security screeners are being forced to work without pay. Transport Secretary Sean Duffy has warned that if the government shutdown continues, many may refuse to work, potentially leading to flight cuts of up to 20%. He added that even if the government reopens, air traffic will not immediately return to normal. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Beijing has lodged a strong protest with the European side over the European Parliament's allowance of Taiwan's deputy Shelby Kim and others into its building and delivering secession speeches.
Mainland's mission to the European Union expressed strong indignation and resolute opposition to Seoul's visit, condemning the European Parliament for allowing what it called Taiwan independence die-hard elements access to parliamentary facilities despite China's strong objections, which severely harmed China's core interests, interfered in its internal affairs, and seriously erodes the political mutual trust between China and the EU. Beijing's strong rhetoric followed Seoul's unannounced visit to the European Parliament yesterday, speaking at an unofficial conference where lawmakers from around the world advocated for tougher China policies, while encouraging closer ties between Europe and the island. Organizers said she was the most senior figure from Taiwan to have spoken at a foreign legislature in which the island did not have diplomatic recognition.
A railway fire in Tokyo has crippled a major commuter line, causing significant disruptions for weekend commuters after flames erupted at a construction site and spread onto the tracks near landmark Inokashira Park.
The blaze broke out early this morning, sending thick smoke over the Mitaka neighborhood. Firefighters responded to the alarm and took approximately 2 hours to extinguish the fire. No injuries were reported, but the fire consumed wooden sleepers on the tracks, along with a generator and paint left near the site, as the painting work had been conducted overnight. The incident has forced the suspension of all Keio Inokashira line services between Fujimi-Gaoka and Kichijoji stations.
Onto the weather now. Mainly fine, cloudy periods tomorrow morning with a minimum temperature of about 24 degrees. Hot during the day with a maximum temperature of around 29 degrees. And that's your news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.